Alright guys, come join me. Take a seat. I'm sat on a stripy deck chair that took me no less than 40 minutes to assemble. I've got a 99 in one hand, a cone of chips in the other, a candy floss in the other, a good book in the other, and my pale scouse skin is blood red from the sun. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I am living the Frangerine Dream.
David Unsworth looking for the front men, and Shirley checks in trouble, and it's Jeffers who puts it away.
That's right, after the slight hiccup that left Francis Jeffers stuck in some kind of alternate reality time warp with no beginning or end that would just stay in one season forever and forever, we are back in the game. Quite literally, we are back in the game. We're in charge of Blackpool. Blackpool, who only a few years ago were in the Premier League. It was 2010-11 they were in the Premier League, and now in 2016-17 we're down in League 2. This club have had an awful time. For one thing, the very first challenge, our owners are absolute pieces of shit. They're fucking disgraces. Owen and Carl Oyston, well, by all accounts, I'm not a Blackpool fan myself, as you know, I'm an Evertonian, but by all accounts, the Oystons are just bad eggs, and I've got to work with them. They are the people who hold the power. They can sack me at any point, which they almost certainly will. What I'm going to do, you will be able to see that I have already, in keeping with tradition from the last save, I've already sacked most of the staff, and I'll be bringing my own guys in. I will update you through the summer. I'm taking the summer very seriously this time. The last save, I just sort of left it all to my assistant. I was eager to get to the first game. This time, I'm being a lot more relaxed. I'm going to make sure everyone is fully fit for the start of the season. I've arranged the friendlies myself. And yeah, I've got a good feeling about this. We're going to get Blackpool back up to the Premier League. And not only that, we're going to do it playing the swashbuckling football that I remember Blackpool in the Premiership playing. The Blackpool who went to Manchester City with all the billions and trillions of pounds and said fuck you and just attacked him. That's the kind of football we're going to play. It is going to be spectacular. It may not work because we've got League 2 players, but it is going to be spectacular. I'll see you in a bit when I've done some stuff. And I've not actually planned on doing this, but do you know what? We're going to start off with a power play because I'm meant to meet Carl Oyston as my very first job. Go fuck yourself, Carl. I might really regret that, but fuck him. Well, this hasn't started well. Meet Bright Osai Samuel. I've not introduced you to all the players yet. I will do, but what I'm going to do is get all my transfers in first, and then before the first game I will introduce you to everyone. But this is Bright Osai Samuel. Brighton and Hove Albion just came in with an offer of about £165,000, rising to around £500,000, which I said no to, basically. I said you can have him for £1 million plus 50% of his next transfer, which might have been optimistic, sure, but they weren't up for negotiating down. They just withdrew their offer, and now he's all pissed off. So let's go talk to him. In fact, let's ask Danny Pugh. Meet Danny Pugh, everyone. I'll tell you about him in a bit. Did not plan on unveiling the players at this point. Have a look after him. Have a word with him. He's unable to resolve it. What coming in then, Bright? Jesus. The finances were not right. I want £1 million plus... Oh, bollocks. He wants to know what is a reasonable bid. I'll tell you what I'm going to say, if they come in with 500 grand, and just between me and you guys, 500 grand plus like 50% of the next transfer, then I will let you go, Bright. Does that sound fair? Nah, it's not good enough. 470, yeah, 475k, and just between me and you guys. Also 50% of the next transfer. Yeah, that seems fair. That works for me. Cheers, boss. See you later, sucker. Oh, this isn't the note I should be starting my new job out on. I'm already lying through my teeth. I've only been there since midnight, weirdly. I've been there exactly 12 hours and I'm lying to the players. So, I've done the summer, I've done the transfers, I've done the friendlies. Let's give you a look what's going on. Firstly, my backroom staff were above average in most areas, and we're actually top in attacking coaching, man management, judging player potential and ability, and physiotherapy. We're top in all those departments. My assistant through this Tangerine Dream voyage will be none other than Brett Hangeland. And making up the sort of 2000s era trifecta this time is Gavin McCann.
And the offside flag stays down. It's Lee Hendrick. Played the ball too far ahead of one man. Not far enough ahead of McCann. It was a brilliant strike, and Gavin McCann equalises for Aston Villa.
So in case you don't know these guys, Brett Hangeland played for Fulham for a fairly long time between 2007 and 2014. Had a couple of years at Palace as well. Before that, was at Copenhagen, Viking and Vidar, making his way around Scandinavia. He was a massive, solid, slow centre back who used to be really scary from free kicks and corners because I think he's about 6'15". It's not a thing, is it? Gavin McCann is actually my old mucker from the Everton Academy, which is kind of nice. Glad to see him again. It's been a while. He had a good Premiership career, unlike some others. He moved to Sunderland in the Championship, came back up to the Premiership, moved to Aston Villa, and then to Bolton, making 312 career appearances in all. He was sort of I think a battling central midfielder, like a ball-winning central midfielder. And yeah, he was pretty solid, if unspectacular. So welcome to the team, Brad. Welcome to the team, Gavin. But none of that is even nearly as exciting as our first team squad, so let's take a look. In goal we have former Austria under-21 goalkeeper Bobby Ole. Genuinely, I have no idea how to pronounce this dude's name, so ta-da! For fuck's sake, Bob Drick is in goal. Right wing back, say hello to Dwight Tiendali. He was on the Swansea books for a few years. Spent a bit of time at Middlesbrough without impressing, without making many appearances at all. But he was a solid full back on either side for Swansea, and he injects a little bit of pace and a little bit of quality into our full back area. So he will be my starting right back. Centre backs were here before I was. Tom Aldred has been with Blackpool for a few years. He's a decent defender, a little bit slow, but apart from that he's absolutely fine. And Clark Robinson, who can't really head the ball. He can reach the ball, but his game's more about finesse. He's more of a ball-playing centre-back. And he's left-footed, which is very nice. It's not often that you can have a right footer and a left footer in the centre of defence. It's very nice when you can. So he will be bringing the ball out of the back. We are one of the best teams in the league, so I'm going to attempt to play quite attractive, expressive football. And that involves playing the ball out from the back, playing it quickly. I'll show you in a bit, it's going to be really nice. But first, we've got a first bloody crossover alert. Sound the crossover klaxon. I'll make a crossover klaxon. It's a crossover. Freddie and Franny brought the same player, and now it's really exciting because they've got the same player at two different clubs at two different stages of the footballing pyramid of England. Josh Tymon is going to be playing at left back for Blackpool, while also in an alternate reality somewhere playing for Arsenal under Freddie Adu. Oh, it's special, isn't it? So Josh Tymon is going to be our left back. You can see he's got a decent bit of pace, good dribbling, crossing, marking, tackling, and excellent mental stats. So everything you need in a full back. And yeah, really excited. We've got him on a season-long loan. And also on season-long loans, we've got Michael Caine.
Tangerine.
So yeah, this is Michael Caine. He is a box-to-box central midfielder. He has got good athletic ability. He's got good mental stats and good sort of all-round technical stats as well. He is on loan from Leicester City, the champions of England, and I'm sure he'll do a job. Next to Michael Caine, we've got Jack Payne, also a central midfielder, also has decent athletic abilities, decent mental abilities, and well-rounded technical abilities. He is more of a playmaker. He's got good first touch and passing and vision and teamwork. So Payne and Kane form the midfield too. Another season-long loan out on the right wing, who will be cutting inside on his left foot. Just giving you a glimpse of the tactics we're going to be playing. Is Welsh winger Owen Jones. I think it's just Owen Jones, isn't it? Yeah, Owen Jones. So he's going to be playing on the right wing, cutting in onto his left. And we didn't really have anyone for this position, so that's why we brought in Owen. As you can see, he's probably not going to light the league on fire. His attributes aren't amazing, but he has got good crossing, dribbling, finishing and first touch. He's got decent mental stats in some areas, including flair and work rate, aggression, etc. And he's got pretty good physical attributes. And he's left-footed and he can play on the right wing, so he is perfect for these tactics that I will show you in a minute. So Owen Jones starts on the right, and just to make Blackpool feel a bit like home, we've got Brad Potts. If you've not seen the 2 seasons I did at Sheffield FC called Men of Steel, go and watch that now. We had a central midfielder called Brendan Potts, and he was one of my best players with one of the worst attribute sets I've ever seen. So yeah, go check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, Brad Potts will be playing as a shadow striker for me. I think he's got the bare minimum mental attributes required to be a shadow striker. He has got good physical attributes, so that's not a problem. And he's got decent technical attributes, so he should fit into that role. I'm also training him to play there so he can do it better. This is my starting left winger. He's right-footed, but the eagle-eyed among you will realise that he's out for 3 months. He got through pre-season with flying colours. He got all the way to the 3rd of August, 3 days before our first match, and he's bloody slipped a disc in his back. He is, without a doubt, my best player. So it's going to be interesting seeing how we do without him. But one thing about Blackpool, when I got here, we had a lot of strikers. We had, I think, 6 or 7 strikers, and most of them could play on one wing, at least. Some can play both. One of those strikers is Mark Cullen, sort of a weird Paul Scholes, Tony Hibbert hybrid, made in some lab in the northwest. But yeah, this is who is going to be filling Mark Yates' shoes or boots while he's out. And he's decent. He's like Mark Yates light. He's good physically. He's pretty good mentally, although not much flair for a wide player. And he can take a touch, dribble and finish, and pass and head to some extent. So I'm sure he'll be fine. We don't need to bring anyone else in for that position. Mark Cullen should be able to cover until Yeats comes back. And up front we have 25-year-old striker Danny Philliskirk, former Chelsea youth player. Didn't actually know this handing from Oldham. But yeah, Danny Philliskirk came through at Chelsea, sort of. Then went to Sheffield United, Coventry, Oldham, etc. And now he's with us. He has got good technical stats where you want them, good mental stats where you want them, apart from anticipation, that could be better. Not great physical stats, but I think when you've got 14 stamina, you can just be one of those players who's a bit of a bulldog and get away with having a lack of pace, for example. So that doesn't worry me. So on the bench we have versatile fullback Eddie Nolan, who didn't quite have enough pace for what I wanted to do with the team, so I replaced him with Dwight Tiendale. Will Aimson, who looks like a decent option at centre-back, but his mental stats aren't quite there. Danny Pugh, who I really ummed and ahed about putting him in the team, but I like the amount of athleticism we've got in the squad, and he's 33, 8 pace, 10 stamina. Yeah, he's not going to get in this team right now, so maybe later my tactics might just fall apart and I'll realise I need someone with that steel and that experience to take the team forward, and then he might get his spot in the starting lineup. But at the minute he is on the bench. Colin Daniel, former Mansfield winger, he's got pretty good attributes where you want them for a winger, so he's a good option. The only thing is he is a left winger and he's left footed, which is not exactly what I need, but I am training him to be a right winger, so at some point he will do a job there. Jack Redshaw is a good option for either cam or striker. His dribbling is insane for this level. He's got excellent pace, excellent flair, and excellent penalty taking actually. So yeah, he will get his chance, I'm sure, but his stats aren't as rounded as I'd like them to be, especially for a 25-year-old. So I don't think he'll ever be a first-team starter, but I said that about a lot of players at Sheffield, and they all became first-team starters. Armand Nandu, Armand Nan, Armand. I know it's Armand. Armand Nanduye. Armand Nanduye. So also on the bench we have Armand Nanduye, who is a striker who I may sell just so that I don't have to pronounce his name ever again. He is a weird striker. If he, looking at his attributes there, if he had any sort of brain in his head, he would be a Premier League player, or at least a Championship player. He has got great physical stats, great technical stats for a player of this level, but his mental stats are non-existent. He is so frustrating. So he is a bench warmer for the time being. Jim McAllister, who looks like a solid option as a holding man or a centre midfielder, just a bit shit but a bit all round, so he kind of gets away with it, and a good athlete as well. That will come in handy. Backup goalkeeper Dean Linus. There was another goalkeeper who I'll come to in a second. I am trying to move him on. But yeah, Dean Linus has got decent goalkeeping stats, but I did feel that I wanted just a really solid keeper, and I think Bob Drake has given me that. Also in the reserves, I've brought in Stephen Craney. I'll be honest with you, I tried to get the whole band back together. I brought in Stephen Craney. I tried to bring in Gary Taylor Fletcher. I really tried to bring in Gary Taylor Fletcher, but I think they wanted about 250 grand for a 36-year-old, and I've only got a couple of £100 myself, so it wasn't really worth it. But yeah, we brought in Stephen Craney, just a bit of an experienced head. Look at these mental attributes, absolutely insane. He's still got very good natural fitness, although he's not got a lot of pace or anything else, and still decent technically, so he can be a bit of a last resort. He is also the Blackpool captain. I've given him the captain's armband. Even though he won't play, I want him to assume the captain's role off the pitch, as well as the few times that he assumes it on the pitch. Vice captain, by the way, is Tom Aldred, the centre-back, the Scottish centre-back that I showed you at the beginning. Because yeah, he's just got good leadership, good determination, good work rate, good teamwork. He just seems like a solid choice for vice captain. So the last few players we've got, Andy Taylor, another former Sheffield United player. We've got quite a few. I'd not quite realised how many we had until I've said them all out loud. But yeah, Andy Taylor, he is natural at centre back or left back, which is very handy. He sort of made me think twice about signing Stephen Craney, because Andy Taylor's existence pretty much guarantees that Stephen Craney won't get on the pitch at any point. But yeah, I think they've got different merits. Again, he has not got much pace. That's why I've replaced him with Timon. I'm going to keep calling Timon Teeman, or vice versa, because I don't know how to pronounce his name. We'll all just have to make an effort to get over it together. Yeah, another right back which seems excessive is Kelvin Mellor, who doesn't have great technical attributes or mental attributes, but does have good physical attributes. I am thinking about getting rid of Kelvin Mellor because we just don't need another right back, especially when he's not all that good. We're kind of overstocked with defenders. And the last player in my first team squad is Kyle Vassell. Kyle Vassell. Yes, I've looked into it, and yes, he is the nephew of Darius Vassell, my old England mucker. So, making me feel a bit old, isn't he, Kyle Vassell? Oh, I used to play for England with your uncle. Now we just meet up every few weeks to cry together. Anyway, few honourable mentions in the reserves. Sam Slocum is the keeper that I am getting rid of, or trying to get rid of. No fucker wants him. I've also got Dwayne Miller in on trial, because why not? He's pretty decent. Also on trial, just for the fun, are Emil Heskey and Kevin Lisby, because I'm just enjoying being in a league where I recognise players. And also a player I'm trying to get rid of is Jamil Matt, who has excellent physical attributes but nothing else. So he is on his way out. Let's get the under 18s in as well. Let's just have a look at some of the prospects. Best prospects are Stephen Pemberton, who is a regen, good ball winner. Richard Baldwin, a right winger who's right footed, so he might not fit in, but he's on loan. Luke Higham, who I did consider making my first team left back, but you know, I was going to, but then Josh Timon was available, and he's just much better at the minute. I know I should be bringing young players in, but fuck it. Luke Higham can wait his turn. Nandouye apparently has good potential as well, along with Peter Ainge, Christian Ngessen. I wonder if he's related to Danny Ngessen. And Henry Cameron, who is another right winger. So to summarise, this is what our transfers for the season look like. We brought in Bob Drick from Exeter for £230,000. Dwight Tindalli and Stephen Craney were free transfers, and we brought in Owen Jones and Josh Timone for season-long loans where we are paying no wages and no fee. In terms of outgoings, we did end up selling Bright Osai Samuel for £700,000 with, I don't mind telling you this, 50% of his next transfer. So I got better than what I wanted, so that was great. And also a couple of young players have gone out on loan as well. Lee Hendry's found a club, so good for him. Leicester in the English regional Premier Divisions. Exciting, isn't it? Here we go then. So it is first match time. We are playing Exeter, from whom we bought Bob Drick. And yeah, these are my tactics. They are extremely attacking at the minute. They will not always be extremely attacking, but I want to start the season just showing everyone what we're about, that we're going to be the Blackpool of old, the Blackpool who just took the game to teams, took games by the scruff of the neck and just fucking battered the opposition. And even if they lost, they still had a good go. That's what we're going to do. We have got Bob Drick in goal. We've got a sort of defensive triangle of Robertson, Aldred and Payne. A ball-playing defender, a central defender and a deep-lying playmaker on defend. Two wing-backs in Timon and Tindalli, who have got decent pace and ability. They will be bombing up the wings. As will Michael Caine. He will be bombing through the centre and coming back to help out with defending. Jones and Cullen will be sitting narrower in the pitch, supporting Philliskirk and Potts, while Timon and Tindalli bomb up the wings around them, and Potts will be running ahead of Danny Philliskirk, who will be linking up play and forging chances for himself as a deep line forward on attack. Oh, it's going to be excellent. We are playing attacking, we are playing fluid, higher tempo, fairly wide, play out of defence and look for overlap. Those are the things we are doing. I think it's going to result in some very attractive football. It might also result in some thrashings for us and for the opposition, so it's going to be interesting. Obviously we're not going to play on attack every week, but just when I feel it's merited, and this is one of those times, so let's get into it. The Frangerine Dream begins. We will be coming up against a 4-4-2. Exeter playing a 4-4-2, presumably on counter, because that's the style now, after Leicester was so successful with it. So it might be a bit of a, well, it's obviously a bit of a risk to play attacking, but we're bloody going for it. Do you know what? I am a very conservative player when it comes to Football Manager. I usually try and put defence first, iron out risks, and then try and catch teams on the break, or just try and get the one goal to win it for us. And this year, in this save, I just want to bloody go for it, because that's what I want for Blackpool. That's what I want for the fans. Highlight, we're in possession. Here's Potts, Michael Caine, Philliskirk. Philliskirk's running with it, and it's laid back to their keeper, and he clears it. Now, will they try and hit us on the counter? Oh, they would, but Tiendali's bloody there, isn't he? Tiendali gets it to Michael Caine. Danny Philliskirk. Michael Caine. Philliskirk. I don't know how long I can keep that going, by the way. Owen Jones. Lays it back to Payne. Who can he pick out? He picks out Michael Caine. Now Potts. Now Cullen. Someone have a shot. Josh Timon. Oh, that's a great ball in. And Owen Jones has scored. Owen Jones. Owen Jones on a season-long loan from Swansea is set up from a beautiful cross from Josh Timon, who is on a season-long loan from Hull City. And that, 5 minutes into my first match, that is very, very satisfying indeed. Michael Caine to Josh Timon on the left wing, who put it into the centre, and Owen Jones just bloody stabbed it home. Good lads. It's a goal 5 minutes into his debut. And a minute later, we've got a corner. It's crossed in by Timon. It's come through to Potts, and Aldred's there, and Aldred scored. And it's 2-0. My God, this is going to be a fun season. Timon crossed it in. It was nodded on by Robertson. Potts had a go. It sort of pinballed around a bit, and Aldred just knocked it in. And a minute after that, there's another highlight, and we're in possession. Michael Caine. Surely not 3-0 within 9 minutes. Here's Philliskirk. It's tackled, but Cullen to Timon, who's having a bloody scorcher so far. Timon takes on his man like he wasn't even fucking there. He crosses it in. Owen Jones is there. Cullen's there. Over the bar. Oh. These videos are going to be long as shit if we have this many highlights. 3 highlights every 9 minutes. 30 highlights per match. The highlight's not even over. Here comes Potts. He's lost the ball, but can he win it back? Off 2 extra players? No, he cannot. It was a good effort though. Stacey, can he get round Tiendali? Of course he can't. We both know the answer to that. Tiendali to Potts. What a player, Tiendali. I feel like I've downplayed how happy I am to have Dwight Tiendali in the team. I see him as a big, big capture. Payne to Michael Caine. Potts to Owen Jones. Cutting inside. Potts has a go. That's a good... Holy shit. We found the new Leroy Jennings. And it's Brad Potts, confusingly. What a fucking goal. And 10 minutes in, we are 3-0 up. Welcome to the fucking Tangerine Dream. Potts hit it in off the bar. That's 16-year-old Rooney-esque. It's a highlight for them. It's crossed in. Aldred heads it away, and I think we're going to get him on the counter-attack here. As much as I appreciate this awesome play, I'm trying to stick to like a 25-minute video. We can't have this many highlights. We're 12 minutes in. Robertson heads it down for Timon. Timon to Cullen. Here's Payne. Picks out Timon, as of course you would. Timon drills it in for Philliskirk. 4-0. 4-0 after 12 minutes. Spread out onto the left wing. Timon drilled in a cross. And Philliskirk knocked it in. I'm tempted to tell them to exploit the left flank, but what's the point? They already are. It's working. But we are on a bit of a goal drought now. It's nearly half time and we've not added a fifth. Just wow. Just that is just incredible. That was an incredible 12 minutes of football. Do you know what? We're 4-0 up. We've got a couple of players here who could do with some match fitness, so I'm going to give them a try. Armand Nandrier, who is our target man, who is just looking for a brain, and Danny Pugh. They're coming on for Danny Philliskirk and Jack Payne. Going to bring them on, get them some match fitness. Because yeah, I think we're just going to sort of wander on to victory here. This is very nice. This is very relaxing. Corner for us. Pugh crosses it in. Owen Jones is there. But it's cleared as far as Pugh again. Go on, whip it in. Cullen's header. Robertson's header. Oh! Shit, good save. Okay. Another corner. Is it going to be Pugh again? It is. Pugh whips it in. It's cleared. Pugh whips it in again though. It's cleared again. Josh Tymon. Josh Tymon, he's too good for us, surely. A 9.2 on his debut. He's got 2 assists. Every time he's got the ball, it's looked like we're going to score. In fact, every time he's got the ball, we pretty much have scored. Here come Exeter with a bit of possession. But Dwight Tiendale, every time Exeter have like sustained possession, Dwight Tiendale just nips in and gets it away. He is a ridiculously good signing. Kroll to McAlinden. Where's Tiendale? We need Tiendale to break up this play. Taylor. Why am I still on attacking? This is probably why they're breaking through. Taylor gets a good cross in. McAlinden's there and he's hit the side netting. And that is a shot across the bows where I go into a more conservative tactic. I have this 4-1-2-3 ready and waiting. It is standard, flexible, no team instructions. And we're just going to have fullbacks on automatic. So there we go, just a very, very standard 4-1-2-3. And we're just going to try and run the clock down. I'm very happy with a 4-0 win, even if all the goals came in the first 12 minutes. And that's it. Bloody hell, what an opening match. That was incredible. All my new signings have done very, very well. Very pleased with all of them. Josh Tymon got man of the match, because of fucking course he did. He got 9.2 full-time rating. 2 assists. Let's have a look at some of the stats. I tell you, you did very, very well in that box-to-box midfielder position. Michael Caine. He completed 86 out of 92 passes. He got 7.5. That's a really solid display. We need someone who can link up the play like he does. So glad to have him on board as well. But just overall, that was a really satisfying game and a great game to start a new save off with. I'm sure you'll agree. And that is where I'm going to leave this video, guys. So I'm really excited for the new save. Hope you are too. Remember to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. Also leave a comment if you like. Also go and watch Freddie Adu's save where he's taking over Arsenal. And he's doing alright. He's doing fine. Struck up a bit of a love affair with Olivier Giroud. And it's funny as fuck. So go watch that as well. But apart from that, I will see you next time. Bye.